Welcome everyone to the Proven Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Church. I'm a music producer from Northeast Ohio. I began this weekly interview series to give you different perspectives from artists, producers, engineers, and other individuals in the music industry. In each episode, we touch on not only what has helped the person succeed, but we also touch on what has shaped them into the person that they are today. I hope you're able to gain some real proven knowledge from the show, and that it helps elevate you on your own journey to success as well. Let's get into it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 249 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Today we had a part 2 guest, Leon DC. He's a London-based singer and songwriter. We had him originally on the show in 2023, so it was great to welcome him back to catch up. Today's main topics were the level of consistency that Leon has been able to reach over the last year or so. He discussed with me the run of singles that he's been dropping over the course of all of 2024 and really bleeding into this year. He talked about some of the collaborators he's had the thrill of working with and how that's helped his creativity. Also what he's done on the visual side, putting out visuals consistently on social media, and what that's meant to be able to, put those together. He does a lot of the editing for those. He works with some videographers as well. But he talked about, being able to wear different hats and what that's meant to him. He talked about, kind of stepping away from volleyball, which was another one of his main loves, something that we had discussed on the first episode. So it was just interesting to see how things have changed for him and progressed for him in his music journey. And I'm just excited to see what he does moving forward this year. He has a lot of cool things planned, including some shows in the London area as well. So definitely tap in with him. I think he's one of the most incredible independent artists from London right now. So definitely tap in with his music and everything he has going on. And I thank him again for stopping by. So without further ado, let's get into this one. Welcome everyone to episode 249 here on the Proven Knowledge Podcast. We have another returning guest today. It's been a couple years, probably. I think it was probably around this time in 2023 that we last talked. UK-based singer-songwriter Leon DC. Welcome back, man. How you doing?
Hey, it's great to be back, man. Good to see you as well, man. It's been too long.
Yeah, I like I said, I appreciate you for wanting to come back on the show. And yeah, it's great to catch up. And we'll have you give kind of a brief reintroduction for those that might not have heard that first episode we did a couple years back. So just kind of give people, some details on who you are, what you do, all that good stuff.
Well, my name is Leon DC, singer-songwriter. I've been making music for seriously for probably about 5 years now. I'm based in London. Born and bred Londoner. I've traveled around quite a bit. I used to play professional volleyball. Used to be part of the English national team with the junior development and sometimes with the seniors as well. And yeah, pretty much since COVID, I've just been taking music a lot more seriously since 2020. Yeah. And especially this year, I'm looking to start performing a lot more than I have been recently.
Yeah.
I feel like 2024 was a year of me literally just making music.
Yeah.
And just obviously just like getting to know my sound a bit more, and obviously just honing the skills of actually being able to mix and master and get everything sounding the way I want it to sound before actually hitting the stage again.
Yeah. Because I remember the last time we talked, I feel like you were kind of getting to the point where you wanted to do music a lot more as well. Because I remember you saying how prominent volleyball was at the time for you in your life and how important it was as well. But that you wanted to kind of get music on almost the same level or just start doing it more often as well. So I guess my next question would be, what do you think has been the biggest change over the last couple of years for you? And it might not even be musically, it could be in life too. What do you think has been the biggest change and the biggest progression that you've seen in what you're doing?
I feel like it's really just come from a difference in basically what I do and like my routines and everything around just my thought processes about like how things should work musically. And basically just like with me not performing as much last year, I moved houses. I was able to find a place where I'm able to record consistently and not really have to worry about the neighbors or whatever shall we say. I'm able to just basically just create freely. So it's just giving me the opportunity to do that. I changed jobs as well, which was another good thing as well. There's just a lot of different things that have kind of happened. Obviously, with me not playing volleyball anymore, I have so much more free time and energy. So that definitely makes a big difference as well, like, especially when it comes to actually having the energy to do other things that, I'm basically just noticing the differences in the things that I'm doing and, like, how motivated it keeps me as well.
Yeah.
Just, like, kind of having the routine that I have now in comparison to what it was like previously.
Yeah. And I'm sure that also probably helps build consistency too, which I think is a big step towards getting, to the goals that you're trying to reach as well, is like having that consistency from being able to do it more often. Yeah. So how has that kind of benefited you to be able to build that consistency just in everything? Because you do visualizers, you're doing the song releases, you're doing all that stuff. So does it kind of bleed into every aspect of your creativity, you think?
Yeah, because there's, like, especially, like, with how, because I've been recording a lot more consistently, I've been putting out a lot more songs. Well, I've been recording a lot of songs that you just haven't heard yet. That's what this year's pretty much for. But, like, I feel like by doing that, and having the time for it, it just means that I can actually think about things outside of the music, whether it'll be the visual aspect or whether it'll be how I'd want to market the song. And just make it more visually and ear appealing, really.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel like I'm just giving my craft a bit more love and care than I kind of did previously.
Yeah.
And I'm just really trying to just, like, pinpoint what I'm after.
Yeah. And I think even that little bit more love and care, like you said, that goes a long way too, which is incredible. And as far as the visuals go, because you always send me your visuals on TikTok, sometimes on Instagram too, but I always see that you send me the stuff you post on TikTok. And the stuff always looks incredible. It's always top notch to go with the music. Yeah, for sure. So, like, how has that been going? And are you, kind of directing and heading all this stuff yourself? Do you have anybody else helping you out with the visuals recently? Like, how has that journey been progressing?
I've been collaborating with a lot of different photographers and videographers when it comes to actually getting my visual edits done. Well, the visuals, like pictures and videos and stuff. But, like, when it comes to all the editing and everything else, that usually just comes from me, because it's another thing that I'm really passionate about doing. And I find that, like, when it comes from, like, finishing off the song and stuff like that, it kind of takes my mind off actually having to think about that sort of creative aspect of things. And it kind of, like, puts me into a different sort of mindset. Creatively, which is it's another good way of, like, just me exploring what I actually like to do.
Yeah. I've always found, because I don't really edit videos, like, on that level, because usually when I'm doing videos, it's more of just, like, things for social media, just light things, and I've never done, like, a full official music video, so I can imagine the editing for that is more in-depth. But I've always found, I totally see what you're saying, because it's almost like they're both creative aspects, but one kind of could give you inspiration for the other one too. So when you're working on the video, it might give you a total different idea for, like, the song aspect of it, and vice versa, you know what I mean? Which I think is kind of cool. And I think people, a lot of the times, they kind of get afraid of trying to do a lot of things on their own, or doing, like, multiple things, like wearing multiple hats. But I think it can be very beneficial to you in the long run as well. Do you kind of feel the same so far in doing those sorts of things?
I feel that, like, at first it was kind of a lot of pressure, because it was kind of like, there's so much you need to think about. And especially if, like, you put so much time and effort into something, it's kind of, at the back of your mind, you're always thinking, are people actually really going to like this? But, like, if you just kind of block that out, and, like, I'm in a space now where, like, I'm literally just creating for the sake of creating, and because of the fact that I really enjoy doing what I do. So that's kind of that's my motivation, really. And for me, it's just kind of like it's kind of therapeutic for me to just do this anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like it will be something that I'll be stopping anytime soon. And I have so many goals and everything that I'm literally just ticking boxes for. So
Yeah.
I'm just like praying I keep doing what I'm doing and it just keeps going in the right direction.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. As long as you,
I didn't answer your question.
no, it did for sure, because it shows that, that's the real catalyst for why you're doing it in general, is because you actually enjoy doing it and you have the passion for it. And obviously, if you have the why, you're going to keep going no matter what, through all the ups and downs, which is the most important thing we could have as creatives in general. So that's awesome to hear, and I think it's just going to be super incredible to see like how it keeps evolving too. And I do want to ask about, because you just said you have a lot of goals and you're kind of just checking them off one by one. How important has it been to, kind of plan things out in advance too? Like, how far ahead are you looking? Let's say this year, for example, how far ahead are you looking as far as, the songs you're going to be dropping, the visuals you're going to be dropping with them? And how important has that been to kind of continuing to see that progression?
I feel like the more I plan ahead, the more effortless things become in a way. And like I feel like there's like with me, I'm quite I like to be a person of routine. Otherwise, I know things just won't get done. Especially with like how my mind works, I'm very all over the place. So if I see something down on pen and paper, I know it needs to get done.
Yeah.
And sometimes like people will look at it and think, oh, it can kind of kill the creativity that way. But I feel like if you don't really have a plan and you're just basically just shooting in the dark, then you're really just counting yourself up to luck at that point. And I feel like for me, like as long as I keep consistent, things are not always going to be perfect, and people are going to like different things, and especially with songs that I put out recently. Like there's so many songs where I'm like, oh, people actually really like this song in comparison to not my favorite, but like one I favored more of. And yeah, it's just good to see, man, like how things are going. And I feel like within the next year or two, like with the songs that I have planned, I just need to get the visuals to catch up with them and everything else around that, and things will be sweet, man.
Yeah. Hey there, hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to take a quick minute out to let you know about a couple different ways that you can support the podcast. One of the ways is by clicking that support the podcast button within your streaming platform. That is if you want to be a monthly supporter of the show. You can contribute either 99 cents, $5, or $10 a month. So that's the first way, and that's the more traditional way that we've had now for the last couple years. The other method that we actually just recently introduced is from our good friends over at Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a virtual tip jar. We have set our limit to a minimum of $10, but you can go make one-time, one-off donations. So if you visit ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast, you'll be able to donate. And all these different forms of donation go towards getting new guests every single week, getting potential sponsors on board to do giveaways, and overall just making the show better for you guys. So if you want to do that Ko-fi link, it's ko-fi.com/the Proven Knowledge Podcast. Otherwise, again, look for that support the podcast button in your streaming platform if you'd like to be a monthly supporter. And I just want to say thank you guys for your contributions. And without further ado, let's get back into the episode. The trajectory is aiming up every time you go and do that. So yeah, that's awesome. And I definitely want to give you the opportunity to talk about what is coming up musically and what you've dropped recently, because I know even in 2024 you dropped a good amount of singles as well. So whatever you want to touch on, feel free. Let us know what people can be looking out for and all that good stuff.
I've dropped, in comparison to the previous years, 2024, I did drop a lot of music. And like with the visuals that I wanted to go with them as well, like I thought it was something that was like, I feel like it was just like me excelling in different ways. And like one of the ones that really stuck out to me was the song called "Make Me Sing." absolutely great songs. It's only a song that I'm featured on, but like I was just around some really great people. The main artist, a guy called Dan Serra, who's actually my neighbor, believe it or not. He lives around the corner from me. He's got a lot of good music coming up pretty soon as well. I feel like that, like, just like seeing how he operates as an artist and as a person that has performed in West End theatre productions for quite some time and is doing a lot of great things, was kind of inspirational to see, and it's kind of put me in a good mindset to actually want to perform and do things more consistently than I have been previously as well.
Yeah.
With other songs that I have as well, like say, 1 second, I was working with a lot of like big artists, like El Pop. We did basically about 4 or 5 songs last year where he came down to London. He's based I think it was Northern Ireland or Ireland. And he just came to stay around mine, and we did like 4 or 5 songs. And only one of them has just been released recently, which is Too Late, which came out a couple weeks ago now. But yeah, like, I've just been making music, man.
Yeah. That's the best part.
Like,
you can
I
just...
feel like with the time frame of things, it always kind of like... it's hard for me to think about because like I make them at different times, but they all come out at different times at the same time. So like I could have made the song like say 2-3 years ago, and you're only really hearing it in 2024 or 2023.
You just keep building your back catalog, and then you can release things as you go, which is the best part about it. So you always have something kind of in the stash ready to go. Yeah. That's incredible about, you said your neighbor as well, you worked on some stuff with him. How did that conversation go? Did he already know that you also did music as well? Like, did you guys already know that, or who kind of started the conversation?
It was mainly just like internet conversation to begin with, and then when we like actually met, it was like pretty cool, and saw a lot of the stuff that he was doing on his Instagram. It was he performs in a theatre production called Choir of Man, and we quickly realised that he literally lived around the corner from me, and he said that he was looking to make his first original song. And then we started making Make Me Sing. He already had the lyrics. We literally just like had we were playing a few instrumentals to see what we could work with. And then he literally was just like, pause on this one. This one is the one that like we need to record to. And like, yeah, we literally just fell in love with it straight away, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah. It's incredible that you got the online connection first, though, and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, we live like right beside each other, basically. So
it was weird, man. I was like, wow.
That's wild.
She's so close.
That's wild. But that's incredible, and I think you guys, even just being that close together, I think it's great for being able to continue to collaborate too, which is super cool. So it'll be exciting to see like what you guys end up cooking up in the future too, which is awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, and it's great to hear that in general, just the collaborations have been going very well, which is nice. And as far as the live performing aspect goes, because you said that's a big goal for you this year, is to do more live performances. Have you done any yet, or do you have any that are planned coming up in the spring and the summertime?
With all the new music that I've been dropping, I'm basically just like going to like a few open mics and a few small places to perform over the next couple of weeks, shall we say. Just basically just testing the waters and see what people actually like live performance-wise. I previously just did an open mic like 2 weeks ago. I did like 3 songs. The vibe was great. I met some really cool artists as well. And it was literally like not far from where I live as well. So I'm looking to just basically just get my foot. Yeah. Basically just tiptoe around and see what sticks. And then I have my big show that's going to be on the 17th of April in Walthamstow, around the corner from me again. I'm going to be performing with 2 other artists as well, one called Daniela and then another one called Mami Marisa. It's going to be a really good night.
Awesome.
Buzzing for that one. I'm going to be doing like at least, I can't really tell you much about the track list, but it's going to be a really good night regardless.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be around the time when this episode's dropping. So hopefully people can hear this and definitely go support the show, check it out as well if they're in the area. So that's
yeah,
great
man,
to hear.
it's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
If you want to come to London, you always have a place to stay as well, man. I'm telling you.
I got to make it out there one day for sure. Definitely got to.
You need to come, man.
Yeah, I know a couple people that have been out there, and they said it's really, really a cool experience. So, definitely got to check it off my bucket list as well. But other than that, even outside of music, what do you think you've been doing? Kind of just on the day to day. Could be hobbies, could be just anything else to kind of free your mind a little bit, take your mind off of things creatively, and kind of just recharge and come back to keep working on things. What do you think that's been for you recently?
It's actually all been all work and no play almost. It's kind of crazy because I feel like the people that I'm around now, they kind of like interlink. Like, so we do things together outside of music. It doesn't really have to be music.
Yeah.
But like outside of music stuff, I've just been kind of going to the gym. I'm not really doing sport anymore, so I have a lot more free time. I get to see the family a lot. It's basically just me being a lot more grounded and just being a lot more focused. Really.
Yeah. I think a lot of that kind of goes into the fact that it probably doesn't feel like work either, to an extent.
It doesn't.
You know what I mean? So it's almost like you're just kind of naturally in that flow state anyway. So it's like, this just feels natural. It doesn't feel like I'm putting in a lot of work. Even though you are, it's like it doesn't really feel that way all the time. So, yeah. So that's very nice to have as well. And is there really anything else that you kind of want to let people know about before we get out of here? Anything you want to plug or any shout outs you have for anybody, like anything else?
I want to shed some light on a single that I have coming out on the 29th. No, sorry, the 29th or the 28th of February. It's going to be a really good single. I'm going to basically put it up on the distribution sites today. The song is called... Oh my God, I have two in mind, but you know what? I haven't picked one yet. That's the only problem.
Oh, you're still deciding?
Yes, I have two in mind, but one of the songs is definitely going to be dropping on the 28th of Feb. But I want you to kind of give me I want to use your ears just to see which one sticks for you, in my opinion. And then, we'll go.
Awesome. Well, all the listeners, by the time this is out, whatever song we pick will be out, okay? But I have the honor, apparently, of helping him choose the song. So hopefully you guys like whatever song gets chosen. But very exciting regardless. And, I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. And yeah, I think it would be the 28th because it's not a leap year, I don't think. I was trying to think of that myself. It's there's only 28 days this month. So, but yeah, that's exciting. And is there any final words of wisdom you have for the listeners before we sign off?
Chase your dreams, stay focused, and never... I don't know, man, just like, he always like... One thing that I've learned is to plan ahead, and obviously if you go in motion of what you actually think is going to manifest, it usually does happen that way. And I feel like it really does come from a place of self-belief and a place of literally just loving what you do and the people around you. And obviously, the more you nurture the grass that you have, the greener it gets.
Yeah. Well, man, I got to say, it seems like you're definitely doing that for yourself right now, and it's great to see. And like I said, I'm just thrilled to, witness what you're going to be doing all of this year and moving forward, because I can tell you're just getting more consistent and you're doing a lot more, and the quality's there and everything's there. So again, congrats on that, and thanks for stopping by again, and you're welcome back for part 3 anytime, man. So thank you.
Always, man. Always. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks, guys, for listening today. That was episode 249. We'll be back this time next week. As always, hit that support button on your podcast streaming platform if you'd like to send any funds. And feel free to leave us that 5-star rating if you enjoyed today's episode. And as always, tune in every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, to twitch.tv/AnthonyChurch24 for more in-depth and exclusive content. But until next week, we'll see you then. Thanks as always for listening.